Hello, lovely people, and welcome back to another ChatGPT++ session. In this session, we're going to be looking at auto-generating a conversational interview chatbot with absolutely no code. Sorry, that was a puppy trying to get in. Whenever I start talking, she wants to be with me. And that's LinkedIn saying I'm live. Fantastic. So yeah, we're going to be looking at auto-generating a conversational interview chatbot using no code, which is the Juji platform. Juji is true no code, not low code, no code. They've spent a lot of time developing this product. It's very, very clever, very quick to develop a chatbot with. You don't need to be a techie. Someone can put a really good chatbot together. AI helper, digital assistant using Juji is probably the most powerful I've seen so far. If you've got any comments, just let me know. I can see they're coming in already, so thank you. I really appreciate that. Do let me know where in the world you are, because I always find it fascinating. So right, let's dive into it, because we've only got, I like to finish somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. You know, I'm taking up some valuable time of yours, and you were good enough to register and pop along to watch this. So let's just get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the end product, so you can see what it's supposed to be. Then we'll look at how quickly you can create that using one of the Juji templates. And then we'll look at the analytics side of it, the bit I think is truly magical. So let's dive straight into it. So this is the page we're on. This has been set up by the Juji team just for a demo. And you can see over here on the right, it normally, you can get it to start close, you can get it to start open, you get it to start close and then open after a few seconds, whatever. But this is how it starts. All of this is customizable, as you would expect with any platform. Really easy to do. If you want to know how that's done, there's a whole raft of these lives now. And also on the Juji YouTube channel, I've got a load of videos. So I'm just going to use me. I'm going to start the chat. And remember, we're looking at the end result now of this being created. So you get the introduction. You come to the place, the Data Management and Analytics Program website at Western Governors University. So this is basically for a single program. So you could effectively land on the programs page and there'd be multiple programs, or you could obviously have your bot on a specific program page. It's whatever you want to do. Gives me a little bit of instruction, which is great. And then it wants to find out the intent. So it just says, what brings you here to chat with me today? So rather than typing, you don't want to hear me clunky clacking on this keyboard because I'm very heavy-handed. We're just going to click assess my fit for your program. So Sage, the chatbot's name, says happy to. In order to assess how well our program fits you, I need to collect at least 100 words from you for analysis. Could you introduce yourself in about 50 words? So to save time, that's the puppy. She keeps going. I might have to put her in a different room. Rather than typing it all up, I'm just going to copy and paste in some text that I've already done. There we go. So I put in some standard information. I've got like some demo personas. Sage is going to read that and then come back with a response. What I really like is if you do this several times, Sage's response is different every time. And then Sage comes back with the second question. But I'm going to ask something like a human would. You can see I'm quite heavy-handed when I type. Humans will often just interrupt a conversation partway through, and we're going to do that and see if see how Juji handles it. And comes back. Did I introduce myself at the beginning of our chat? I am an AI being. My speciality is to chat and understand my users, including their interests, needs, and personality. Obviously, that's all editable. And then we've got a more option. And then this is the interesting bit. So if you remember, Sage had asked me to say a bit about myself, and then I'd asked about my hobbies. Then I'd interrupted. Then Sage had answered, and then gone straight back into the question that needed to be asked. it was just seamless, like it would be between two humans. And ask, what would you like to do? What do you like to do outside of work? So I'm just going to copy some text. Paste that in there. You don't want to listen to me typing again. So whenever I time, look to write and paint, whatever that might be. What's really clever is behind the scenes, the chatbot is actually assessing me as an individual on my personality, on the big 5 personality measures. So Sage comes back, says a lot about the program, and then what they want to do is find out a little bit about what barriers there might be, or a kind of what best suits me. So the options are 1 degree for both, flexible class schedule, or entirely online. Which is most important to me? I like the flexible class schedule. It's acknowledged and then talks about it, and then it wants to see if there are any real barriers to a sale. So if I've got financial concern, time issues, or I don't have any concerns. So say financial, and then Sage answers. So that gives you an example of an effortless chatbot that was interrupted, stayed on track, good conversation, really well thought out. Something like that can be created in just a couple of hours with this platform using the template. So let's go and see how we would start to build that. So I'm just going to flick across to a new tab. Let's just see if there's any questions. Oh, wow, loads of people here. Love it. Thank you. So we got Baltimore, Nashville. Oh, I always want to go to Nashville. Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta. I want to go to Atlanta. Austin, Texas, India, Santa Cruz, Casablanca. God, sounds fantastic. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate that. Right, let's get back into the demo. So starting fresh, if I wanted to build a chatbot just like that, and I'm not technical, I'm not a techie person, but I work within the team at, say, a university or a hospital or whatever the business, recruitment even. All we do is we come to this is the Juji platform. We add a new template, website, find a chatbot template. And from experience, I know there's a lot. I think there's like 80 templates. But the one we're looking for is this one here, which is the general interview conversational survey. If you've never seen the Juji platform before, if it has this little brain icon, it just means it's integrated with AI. And you'll see a little bit of how that works. I think there's about 5 different places that you can use generative AI within Juji, which makes building even quicker. So we click create. At this stage, I can preview the chatbot. We're actually going to customize it, and we're going to use AI to help. So it's asking me for some information. So firstly, my target audience in this example is students. My survey goal is opinions on ML course 341. And the number of interview questions we're going to have is 5. That can obviously, it just sets you up for 5. You can have whatever you want. And if you part built it and you want to make it 7, you can just build those in. It's not a problem. And then I'm going to click this big green button here that says generate sample chat. It takes just a few seconds. And what that does, it just gives me an example of some dialogue that is going to be created. Just give it a second. There you go. So it comes with the Juji chatbot. Says, hi, Mary, I'm Juji chatbot, an AI assistant. I'm here to ask you a few questions about your experience with ML course 341. How are you doing today? Yeah, looks good. It's pulled through the data. Then we would just click apply to my chatbot. Now this bit is where it's going out and it's building the template, but it's also adding in that information. And you can see 4 steps to do. It only takes 1 to 2 minutes. If it takes 2 minutes, I always feel 2 minutes when you're waiting is too long, but it's normally damn quick. Whilst that's building, let's see if there's any more questions. We've got San Diego. Rick, hello, thank you. Oh, there we go. So that took, I reckon that took probably less than a minute. So view updated chatbot. And what we've got is, if you've never seen Juji before, their interface is really, really simple. So across the top, you've got main chat flow, which is like any where you would have any kind of flow builder. But they do theirs in a slightly different way, I think a more elegant way. You've got the Q&A board, which is your FAQs, and then you've got all your chatbot settings, how it looks and feels and acts. So this has built the template down the side. You can see there's a welcome message, and it's already added in the data, which is fantastic. ML course 341. Ask for a start signal. So am I ready to basically take a conversational survey? Then it'll ask me, tell me a bit about yourself. And what I really like about this is Juji has these things called pre-built chatbot responses. It makes it really easy to build this. Then it'll ask about hobbies. Then it asks the question, what drew you to the course? How's the course been so far? And just keeps going. Remember, we asked for 5 questions. Again, we can add more in if we need to. So let's just hit preview on this. Only takes a second. I love the speed of Juji. I've worked with, I don't know how many different, more than 30 platforms now. And they can be quite frustratingly slow, especially when you're building and testing. So Ava introduces herself and asks the main question, tells you what the survey is going to be about. Are you ready to get started? Yes, we are. So tell me a bit about yourself. So you can see we did the live one, the one that is fully built, and this one, just from the template, feels very, very similar. And simply to change any element of it, you just go in, click in and change the dialogue and change the flow. Very, very simple. So what I'm going to do now is take you to have a look at the back end of that first chatbot that we tried, the fully completely built one. So if we come in, maybe 1 second, the puppy's trying to get in. Go away. Sorry about that. If you didn't know, I found 3 puppies in a box a few months ago, and I've managed to rehome 2, just 1 waiting. So we're into that one that we demoed, if you remember. And we can see all the elements are in here, asking the questions. Oh, sorry, I didn't need to add that one in. We just delete that. So we can see all the questions that we saw when we first tried it. So asking about financial concern, time issues, etc. But the bit I want to show you, which I think is fascinating, we just check the chat. Oh, Rick, this is cool. Yeah, it is cool. You can sign up for Juji today, and you can build to your heart's content. You can see I've built probably over 100 of these now, testing it and just getting good views. Francesca, could this be used to send satisfaction type surveys or be programmed to send a result of a complete red? Yes, yes, yes. So different ways you can do it. Yeah, I quite like the idea of just putting a link perhaps in an email. So somebody's completed something, could be a hospital admission, could be a dental treatment, could be anything. Juji's really good when it's big numbers. So this is why it really, really works well in like the education setting. So if you imagine there's 10,000 students signing up that year, yeah, you could do a satisfaction. So you could, perhaps the students have been onboarded, and then you could send them a satisfaction survey about the onboarding process. So you can get some feedback, make it better. Peter Singh, what LLM is integrated? Just OpenAI. Yeah, just the one, OpenAI, and it seems to work really, really well. Okay, so let's go back in. Yeah, the bit I want to show you, which I have not seen this anywhere else. It probably does exist somewhere else, but the way Juji do this is very, very unique. If you imagine that you've got hundreds, thousands of people interested in this one program, they're coming through this conversation. Basically, the initial data is you'll know how many people have gone through it, and you might be able to go through each conversation and try and find out which are going to be the good applicants. But Juji make it really easy. So we're going to go into this section here on the left called reports. And the one that we're going to look at, you can look at chat stats, which any of us that worked with chatbots, you know what the standard stats are. There's some audience data. But the one that I want to focus in on is this personality insights. which is a really clever part of Juji and how it's built. So here we've got the big five. Most of us will know about the big five: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. So you could be assessing those people that are interested in a particular program based on those big five and just use that as a standard model. But what normally happens is you basically build a profile for that program. So if it was, I don't know, physics, there might be, you might want somebody that is very conscientious, because it's going to be hard study. So if we look at conscientiousness, they've got self-discipline, act dutifully, and strive for achievement against measures or outside expectations. So you want someone who's high in conscientiousness. And what you do is you basically work out what you want them to be. So if we look at this WGU profile that was created, what we get is this ideal fit. And you can see here, if I just zoom in a bit, this measures how well one matches the ideal profile of a role along multiple dimensions. The higher the number, the better the fit. So they're looking for someone high imagination, quite high in intellectual curiosity, and low in openness. And then if we look on the risk factors, they're looking for somebody. So this assesses potential risks from multiple dimensions for a person to perform a role or program, in this case, subject to burnout. The lower the number, the lower the risk. So you can see here activity level and friendliness. And what would happen is all those hundreds and thousands of people would come through and they would all be put into this field here, and then you'd be able to sort them and find the people that are the ideal fit. And they, obviously, you find the people that got the ideal personality traits for that program, that job, whatever it might be, program in this case. And they're the first ones that they're the ones you really want to direct your marketing at. If you understand, they're an open and closed deal, really. You've just got to help them realize that they can get the finance, and they can be helped along with whatever their issues. It might be time issues, it might just be confidence issues, but they are the people that are an ideal fit. And you can go back to them and say, our assessment says you're an ideal fit for this program, and we'd really like to have you on board. And any college or university, you want to get the best people for the best program, because you want the highest number of people to complete the program. So if you were going to build one of these, and again, it's really simple, it would be the team around a particular program would put this together. So if we were going to create a custom profile for this, and we'll call it this, we would decide what we want from these personality traits. So if we look here at openness, for this course, the machine learning, we're going to look at, I think intellectual curiosity is important. I'm going to put imagination, and I'm going to leave it at that for the ideal fit. Again, the team would work and would build that ideal fit. And then the risk factors, I think, feelings definitely, and openness. I'm gonna actually add in 3. I'm just gonna throw some in, and then all we would do is we would click build profile, and there you go. It builds what it is, what the kind of personality traits in that we're looking for, the ideal fit, and also where there's high risk. And then as those people come through and answer those 2 questions, tell me a bit about yourself, and then tell me what you like to do in your spare time, they would then start aggregating within this area, and you'd see them start to fill out. And it could be hundreds of thousands of people, and it lets your team know where to focus the sales, get the people into the programs. I hope that makes sense. I know I'm speaking quite fast. If English is not your first language, do let me know. So somebody asking, is this GPT-4? I'm not sure if it's 3.5 or 4. Is this affiliated with OpenAI? He does use OpenAI. Hello from Nashville. Yeah, some other people are asking the questions. So that is kind of a whistle-stop tour of how quickly you can do a conversational interview. And as someone said, it can be satisfaction surveys, it can be anything. across any niche. The educational niche is one that most people understand. And if you imagine in the past how surveys have been done, there was the obvious: give people a survey, get it to complete it, email them a link to an online form. They can just feel a bit chunky and unwieldy. But there's something about a conversational survey which makes it much, much easier. It feels more elegant. And I also think because people are speaking to an AI chatbot, they're a bit more honest. They don't feel, if you're sat in front of someone, you're doing your satisfaction survey, you don't really want to judge them too harshly. I think with an AI chatbot, you can be totally honest. People will be totally honest because they're not going to be judged. So that's it. If there are no specific questions on the right, as it says on the screen, you can go and sign up for Juji today. You can build as many chatbots as you like. You can play around with the templates. That's how I really started to understand it, is I went and dived into the templates, tested them, and then looked at how they were built. It's a very different platform. It is true no code. A lot of people will claim to be no code, but then when you get into it, they can't do a lot and you have to stop putting code in, so they become low code. But this is truly no code. It's something that's very strict on. The user interface is really, really easy. We've done a lot of these kind of demos, so you can work your way through those. But feel free to reach out to me, and I can sit down with you and take you through it. It's great fun to learn. I love learning new platforms. I've built so many chatbots using this now, and I think it's just one of the best building experiences out there. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you showing up. I'm within my 20 minutes, which is what I was trying to do. Thanks again. If you've got any questions, just ask them down in the comments. I'll go through all the comments after anyway. And then look forward to the next one in a couple of weeks, which I think it's onboarding. So student onboarding. Somebody's asked, do you have any academic papers on using the chatbot for interviewing? Personally, I don't, but some of the team might have. If they don't answer you, I'll do a little bit of digging out there and see if I can find something for you. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate you showing up. I know time is money, and especially on a Friday, but I really appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you again.